today we're going to be taking a look at Flashpoint Fire Rescue. This is a game that actually started on Kickstarter, is where it got its origins, and then they kickstarted it and it took off. It was a wildly popular game when it first came out, and since then they've had two expansions, I think, that have came out since that add on to the base game. To start out, we're going to look at the instructions that come with the game. It's pretty well laid out, I think. It does give you a lot of straight through talking, so you can go through. It gives you some good diagrams that go with the game. It gives you, there are two ways to play it. You can play an experienced version or a beginner's version, which I like because that gets you into the game and then adds complexity the more you play it. It gives you some good examples in the game. It tells you about the basic game turn, which I like. If you can understand the game turn, then you can understand how to play the game, obviously, but it gives you some good examples as you play through. The only thing that I thought was a little confusing in the rules was maybe about how fire spreads, and since that's a very large aspect to the game, that was a little bit complicated and could totally change the way the game plays if you don't understand how fire spreads correctly. But the game instructions are pretty easy. It's not very complicated. They give you these great player aids, which I highly recommend to anybody that's designing a game. Please spend the extra money and put these into the game, because it's so much easier for somebody to just look down and say, okay, I've got so many action points to spend and I can move. I can move through fire. I can open a door. I can put out a fire. And it tells you the cost right there on the game. So I really like that they put these into the game for you. Rod, you want to tell us about the components?
Sure. Well, the first thing is that you can see the board. It's very colorful, and of course we'll have a shot coming up right about now that will show you the board real nice. And you can see the pieces, are nice little pieces, kind of cartoony, type things. So we're kind of joking around. This might be a little bit like a Mario Brothers type look to it, which it kind of does have that, has like real, I'm not going to say immature, because that doesn't really work, but it does work. It is kind of an immature kind of look to the game. The one thing that was kind of confusing with it is when you have those cards for your firemen. The fireman cards it has this great artwork.
Really cool.
It really looks like it's going to be these, it's going to be like a real aggressive or a real strategic type fireman game, and it's not that way. But anyway, so all in all, this is like a basic board game. To me, it reminds me of something I would get from Hasbro or something like that, with the pieces in it, because you have a bunch of punch outs and stuff. And the artwork reminds me of what, when I was a kid, that I would get on a game from, Clue or something like that. And then, of course, the characters themselves look like, like we were saying, little cartoon characters. So that's pretty much where it stands. But it's just, it's just a... It does what it's supposed to do. Let's put it that way.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they skimped on the components at all.
No.
I mean, the cardboard is good. The cards are a good card stock. Right. They give you a lot for your money. I think you can get this for like $28 or something online.
I agree.
So you can, you get a lot for your money, I guess, out of it. It's just my main complaint with the game was that you get this cool looking box art, like what Rod said, and then you open it up and it's Mario Brothers, So that's my major complaint about the components. So
yeah. So I guess we actually probably should go right to our voting, because we can talk a little bit more about it, or we haven't got the gameplay. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's talk about how the game actually plays before we show you our dice on what we think about it. So, at the beginning of the game, you're going to one cool feature of the game, it has a grid. Okay, so it's got a grid, and you're going to roll a couple dice. So there's a couple dice that come in the game. You've got I don't know what that is. You got an 8-sider or something, and then you've got a regular 6-sider die. And so you're going to roll the dice, and it's going to tell you where on the board all kinds of things are going to happen. So you've got, on the board, you got these little question mark pieces, and on the other side, it could have a person, it could have an animal, I think, or it could have nothing. And so at the beginning of the game, you're going to roll dice, and it's going to tell you where the people are in the building. The basic idea behind the game is you want to get the people out of the building before they die. So that's kind of how it works. And so you're going to put people out, and then you're also going to put fires out. So you're going to do the same idea. You're going to roll the red and the black die, and it'll randomly tell you where to put fire into the building, into these little squares. And then you're going to pick your firefighter, and he's going to come into the building. There's also doors in the building, so you're going to have doors that you can put out on the building, and all of those doors, I can't remember if the scenario tells you which ones are going to be open or closed, or if they're all closed. I can't remember. But anyway, so there's going to be door markers on the game. And then you're going to come into the building, and you're going to go through the building, try to put out fires, rescue the people. You get so many people out of the game, and then you win. If so many people die in the game, then you lose. It's a cooperative game, so you work together. And each person has so many action points. They call them action points that you can use on a turn. So your turn would basically be, say you have 4 action points. You can use 1 to move. You might have to use 2 to go through smoke, or you might have to use 1 to put out a fire. And so you'll turn a fire into smoke, or you can get rid of it altogether. Different action points that you can spend during the game. And so you'll go into the game, and let's say that you get to someone, you'll flip over the little question mark, and you'll find out if it's a person or not. If it's a person, then you pick up that person, and then you'll spend your action points to basically get back out of the building, and then they're rescued. If it's not a person, or even if it is a person, once you get them out, then you're going to re-roll your dice to randomly put out a new question mark on the board. So it's as if you get them out, and then you hear something, you know, what's that? Let me go back in and try to rescue that person. You have the ability to bust through walls. You can knock down walls, and then as you go through the game, at the end of your turn, you're going to have to take an action. Another part of the turn phase is putting more fire out onto the board. So you're going to roll the same red and black die, and it's going to randomly put out fire onto the board. If you happen to put out fire where there's already a fire, it can create an explosion. The fire can spread. It can do all kinds of stuff, and so that's basically the mechanic of the game. So let's talk about what we think about the game. I mean, what are your thoughts on how it plays and all that?
Well, I mean, I like how the fire spreads when you're in the game, because I mean, at the beginning you only have a few fires going on, and it's kind of simple. You're just moving around. It is a simple game. Again, you know, you're just moving from one location to the other. We had my 8-year-old playing with us when we played, and he enjoyed it. But I think it's more, quite honestly, it's probably at his level is where it's at. But all in all, I think it played fine. I didn't get any, you know, when I play a game, I want something like, well, we won the game, and I wanted to, you know, like, yeah, we won that game. Well, that wasn't that feeling.
It never happened, yeah.
Yeah, it never happened at all. So that was a little bit of a downer on that. So I guess the game just, you know, it's like a lighthearted, you know, board game, Bugs Bunny game or something. You know?
Bugs Bunny game.
So, you know.
Well, I mean, I got to be honest with you. That's kind of my experience too. Like, I remember we played it, and I was so ready for this immersive experience where we're going into the house and we're saving the guy, yeah. You know. But I don't know if it was the pieces and the artwork. To be honest with you, it totally, you know, like I said, I was ready for this adult kind of, I'm a firefighter going in and rescuing people. Lives are on the line. But then, like what you said, at the end of the game, we're like, yay, we won, exactly. You know, and oh, great, we got them all out, you know. And I felt like it fell flat completely. Like, it was just, and I don't know if the expansions changed that. You know, maybe they do. Maybe it ups the complexity or changes it. But at the end of the game, I just walked away and said, okay.
Now, have you played with other people who are not gamers like us? I mean, ones that weren't, you know, like my wife didn't play at the time we played. Have you played with your wife and other friends that aren't real gamers, and how they like it? I
played with my wife. You know, we played a few times, and it was just kind of, I could give or take it. You know, it's on my trade list on BGG right now, so I'm, you know, that maybe that's too good of an opinion right now. I don't know, but
okay. So I think let's go ahead and jump and let's go ahead and show what die we would do for this game.
So at the end of our reviews, we give a simple 3-die or 1-die review. Red means don't buy this game, and if somebody wanted to play it, I'd go play something else. White means I'd play this game if it was out on the table, but I don't know if I would buy it. And green means go buy this game right now. It's got to be in your collection. So let's give our review. We'll pick our die secretly on what we're going to do. And we put it out there and go. Ah!
Oh, we got two reds.
Okay. So this is my first, if you've been watching our videos, this is my first red die review. And so I will say this, I know that there's a lot of people that love this game, bought the expansion, kickstarted it, and love it. But for me, it just fell flat for probably all the reasons I've already stated. And I'm ready to trade this one away.
For me, it's, you know, you brought it over, we played it. It just didn't have, it's just, just I don't want to say it's a waste of time, but because it's always fun to get the other people and play games, but it just didn't do anything the whole time. I wanted to like it. Everything about it, I mean, like the game pieces themselves are nice. You know, I mean, the card stock, all that stuff's nice. It's well made. It's a good value, but the game itself just doesn't play in any way that I enjoyed it. So.
Right. So what I would encourage you to do, if you're still curious about this game, is go watch maybe some other reviews and find some guy that likes it, and maybe he could tell you all the wonderful reasons why you should buy this game. But for us, it's a pass, and we'll look for something else. So,
all right.
Anyway, so thanks for watching. Comment, let us know what you think, and watch our other video reviews. You can visit our website at BoardGameCloset.com, and as always,
visit your local hobby shop and support them.
That's right. We'll see you next time.